and Pin Podcast. My name is Megan Nodecker, and I'm a knitwear designer from Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. You can find me on Instagram as Pip and Pin, on Ravelry as Knit Pip and Pin, and in the Ravelry group, which is Pip and Pin. Today's, I'm gonna, do the usual. I have a finished object to share and a couple of works in progress and a little bit of design stuff. So I'm gonna jump right in with my first finished object, first and only of today, and that is Georgia's spiral socks. So this is a pair of socks that I knit her for her birthday, which was on Wednesday. So I now have a 4-year-old, which is weird. And I will get her to come in and show them because she put them on herself this morning and won't take them off. Right, so I have my guest with me here. And these are your new socks. Yeah. How do you like them?
I like them. Rainbow.
They are rainbow. So these were knit with Gauge Dye Works in the All Together Now colorway, which is a cool rainbow. And the toes and the cuff detail are just something that I got from the Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted. That was in one of the packages that somebody sent me. And I used the no heel spiral socks from La Maison Relili. And I enjoyed liking them. Georgia likes them. You like them, right? Yeah. You want to show them off one more time?
Yeah.
I really enjoyed knitting them, and the recipient is obviously quite happy with them, but there are some problems. I probably could have done them, like she's been wearing them for 2 days now, so they are a little bit stretched out. I probably could have done the smallest child size. I did take out 6 stitches to make them a little tighter, but I could have probably left those in. So next time I do these, I'll just do the child small size. And then I think because it's not really meant for children, like it's an adult sock, I think I would, because it's like offset ribbing, so you switch every 6 rows, and I think if I was to do them for Georgia again, I would do less. So like maybe instead of having 6 rows and then switch, maybe 4. And I think that would like make...
I'm 4 today.
Yeah, because you're 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would just make the spiral a little bit tighter. And I really like the idea behind having no heel, but they do slide off. And they kind of, I don't know if that's... I think it's kind of just the nature of them, but but they are cozy. Kind of house socks. I don't think they'd be very good for, in shoes or anything, maybe boots or something when
boots are comfy.
Yeah, boots would be comfy.
Yeah.
But I think if I was to do them again, I would make the bigger size and do it so it's more spirally to get the full effect of the no heelness. Is that your socks on? Yeah.
Today's raining, that's why I want to put my dump boots on.
Mm-hmm. That's a smart idea.
Yeah. Dump boots are comfy.
Mm-hmm.
The water blue.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for your help, kiddo. Thanks for coming and showing off your socks. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Yeah? You want to say goodbye to everyone?
Bye.
Oh, you got to say goodbye to them up here.
Bye.
Alright, thank you, kiddo. The first work in progress that I'm going to share with you is the pair of socks that I've been working on. And I blasted through the first one in 4 days, which was amazing. And I've put a little bit more work on the second one. So this is, I think last episode I had done the cuff. and was just starting the leg, or maybe I hadn't quite started it yet, but I've gotten a little bit done on it. Not anything like like the first one, but still a little bit of progress. This is kind of like my in my purse at all times thing. So I work on it when I'm at Georgia's swimming lessons or like walking around at the park, things like that. So it's kind of just always in there. The yarns that I'm using are, this is 6 and 7 fiber Hermilo in the blush colorway. And then this one is Knit Picks Stroll Tweed in Jackrabbit Heather. And they are both some sort of combination of wool and nylon. These are both sock yarns. I am 100% gonna have these done for April. I already have one. It's the 13th. Yeah, I can finish this one in 2 weeks or whatever. And I do plan on entering into 2 knit-alongs. The Grocery Girls have their sock batch, which is their yearly like sock a month knit-along thing. And then as well, Coffee and Craft, Bernadette is doing a April sock knit along, and I can't remember what that one is called, but I will make sure to put it in the description below, and I'll link to both of those because sock knit alongs are fun. I find that when I have a goal, like I just so happened to start these ones on April 1st, and so it's like, oh, that's kind of neat. I'll see what kind of things, what kind of knit alongs I can join, and those were these are the 2 that I've decided. I'm sure there's tons more, but anyways. The second thing that I've been working on a ton, and like this is what has taken over my life, and it is the April Fool Shawl by Melissa Stadja, who's Hey Lady Hey. And seriously, like I've been staying up way too late knitting on this. It's one of those things, it's such a like easy to memorize pattern, and it's so you just do it. You don't have to think about anything, and it's wonderful. And so I've just started the stripe section as well, so that's and the decreasing, because it's a square shawl, so you increase and then you start decreasing, and now I've started the decreasing and the striping, so it's extra fun. But this is it so far. And you can see my little, can you see it? Yes, there it is. My little cat progress keeper, and that was from Flock. And that's where I was last time I podcasted, which was only a week or so ago. And so I've done all that. And now I'm starting on the decreases. And the yarns that I'm using are Sweet Fiber Super Sweet Sock in Ochre, which is this beautiful tonal gold colorway. And then this yellow is 6 and 7 fiber Milo again in I'll Teach the Lot. And that's one of her Harry Potter inspired ones. And I know last time I had asked for opinions about colors. First I asked everyone, what shawl should I knit? And I didn't take any of that advice. Last episode I asked what color I should use for this striping. And pretty much everyone who responded to that said to use the gray, which is, it's not really a gray, it's like a gray blue, kind of muted colors. Pretty much everyone said that. And I did try. When I went into making this shawl, I was thinking yellow, and then everyone kind of said blue, and I did try, but it just wasn't right. It was too dull, and that's kind of the whole reason why I wanted to make this, was to not have a super dull color. So, and the yellow just looked better anyways. It just worked a little better together with the gold, I think. So yeah, sorry. I really do appreciate when people respond and give me their opinions. That's why I ask, but it just happened to not. Those are kind of the only two things I've been working on. But that's not necessarily all I've been knitting. In this bag, which is a project bag from Knitter's Nook, who's Uli. Probably my favorite project bag right now because it's getting to be camping time. Disregard the torrential downpour outside. When it stops raining, camping time. Well, actually, I'm going to tell a quick story before I show you this. But a couple weekends ago, it was really nice outside. It's still cold here, but it's not super cold. It wasn't raining. And Justin really wanted to go out camping with me. Georgia was going to have a sleepover at her grandma's house, and me and Justin were going to go camping. But then it's still damp at night, and so I was like, okay, let's take the tent and, we can go. And he's like, well, let's, just go camp under the stars because then we don't get the tent wrecked. I'm like, well, that's not something that I want to do at all. No, I love camping. I like camping. I will camp in a tent. I will camp in a cabin. I've camped in the back of his truck before, and that's fine. I've camped in my Jeep with my sister, and I love camping. I do not love camping without a shelter. I think it's weird and it creeps me out. So that's really what he really wanted to do, and I flat out just said no. So I think the next day he went to his brother's house, and he has Justin has a pickup truck, and it's a little Ranger, and it has these this homemade wooden box on it. It's kind of cute, actually. It sounds weird, but it's cute. And then his brother has this box that kind of fits, but not really. So they fandangled some stuff and put this not fitting box onto his truck. And instead of going camping, we cleared off the patio and got rid of his toolbox from there and made it so that we can actually go camping in the back of his truck. So probably in the next couple weeks, rain or no rain, we will be going camping and sleeping on a comfy mattress in the back of his truck. So that's my side story. Anyways, knitting. The knitting that I've been doing, I've been swatching and swatching and swatching and swatching and swatching. Well, some of these were from before, but anyways, I got a couple of new things from Ancient Arts, and just because I have trouble picking colors when I'm designing, that's probably naming designs and choosing the colors are probably two of the hardest things for me. And especially when I can't see the colors in person. Usually if I see something in person, I will gravitate towards something, and usually that's the right choice. But when it's online, it's really hard to see what the color is actually going to look like. And so I was online, and I was at first they had sent me these two. This is Pompeii, and this is their Nettle Soft DK. And then this is Champagne in their Silk Merino. And both of them I really like. I really like the Champagne. But this one just wasn't quite right. And so I got them to send me a couple other options of ones that I was looking at. Because I just couldn't tell. I couldn't tell. So they sent me this one, which is Fog Warning. And this is on their Silk Merino, which is beautiful tonal blue and gray kind of. And then this is the Nettle Soft DK, and this is Roaring 20s. And this one is really interesting. I love this color so much. It is, what is it even looking like right now? Gray? Purple? I don't know. But in different lights, it will look gray or purple or blue. And I think that's really interesting, and I really like it. So I was swatching with those ones. And this is one of the little swatches that I did. for the top. So this would have been for instead of the white, but I kind of had the feeling that this is not going to work for this project. I love the blue a lot, but I feel like it might be a little too tonal. I kind of feel like the lace might get a little... Am I even doing this right? No. It's going to go like that, kind of. It's a weird swatch. I kind of feel like it's a little bit too tonal for what I'm trying to do. So I think... Okay, if you don't know, I am going to be making 2 tops using this yarn. One is going to be a very summer, spring, loose, flowy thing with their silk merino. And the other one is going to be a little heavier weight sweater for kind of near the end of summer. So this was the option for those 2, the white or the blue. And I think I'm going to go with the white because it's white with a little bit of pink in it, champagne. Really beautiful, and I think that will work out really, really nicely. I'll just have to find something else for this because I love it so much. And then this one, this is the Roaring 20. So this is that purple gray that I was talking about. And I am in love with this. Yeah, my mom really loves this one because that's her color. But if it was like 2 shades darker, maybe. But this one is perfect. So I think it's going to be the purple gray for the fall, and then the white for the summer. What do you guys think? Is that the right choice? You can say no, but but that doesn't mean I'll listen to you. So I've been swatching away with those ones, and there's one more that I wanted to something else that I wanted to show you, because this is why we swatch. This swatch was probably the first one that I did, and I was really thinking about the design and really thinking about everything. That was, I think, key here. Is I was really concentrating on what I was doing. And this is the whole thing was knit with the US 4, and it's very tight. Like, I'm not usually a tight knitter, but I think because I was so focused on it, it was really tight. The blue one, on the other hand, was after I had knit 4 swatches already. And so you probably can't tell. Or here, I pulled them side by side. But the lace especially is totally different. Like, the blue is just way looser. Even this, just the stockinette, is much, much looser than this. I think I went up to a size 5 needle with the stockinette just to see what it would do. But even still, like, there shouldn't be that much difference between a 4 and a 5. And that's just because I was already much more comfortable with the pattern. So I decided to swatch just a swatch of stockinette in the round. And yeah, it definitely made, kind of hard to tell, but it did make quite a bit looser fabric. And if you're wondering why there's all these ends, when I swatch in the round, I only knit what I want to knit, and then pull the yarn around the back, and then just keep knitting. So it's kind of, and then I cut it all at the end and block it. So you get this fun little fringy swatch. Because also, swatching flat versus swatching in the round, you're going to get different gauges. This is why it's always important to swatch, because the difference between this and this is probably, I'm just eyeballing it here, but it's probably a stitch an inch. And that makes, when you're knitting a garment, that will make a huge, huge difference. Also, when you're swatching, it's a good idea to pay attention to what you're doing, kind of. Like, Are you the type of knitter who sits down and knits and pays attention to everything and like it knits tightly, or you know, or are you more relaxed? Like I find I usually knit while I'm watching TV or like doing other things, so I'm not necessarily paying attention to what I'm doing, and my gauge gets looser because I'm just more relaxed. I get into the rhythm of it. This is me paying attention, this is me not. So you want to make sure that you're kind of in the same environment that you would be when you're knitting, which is not something that you would normally think about. I know I certainly wouldn't think about it, but it does make a big, huge difference. Also, I'm going to need to go down a needle size for the lace. And this is a little bit of a side note, but I went for, I went to the yarn store in Abbotsford. And the yarn store in Abbotsford is good at what they do. And what they do is they have a big old machine, and they make like buffalo wool for couch and sweaters and things, and it's really beautiful and really nice. But when it comes to other like the other yarn that they carry and tools and things like that, it's a little bit lacking. But so I went there to try and find some smaller needles because my interchangeable set only goes down to a 4, so I was going to grab a 3 and a 2 and see how those go. And I grabbed some, they don't have a very good, very big needle selection there, but I grabbed some Arrow needles, which I think are metal. I don't know. They were 16-inch circulars. Very inexpensive. And it's like, I kind of had a feeling this was going to happen. And I wasn't planning on knitting the garment in it, but I wanted to swatch with these needles just to see. I took them out of the package and I couldn't even bring myself to swatch with them. Like having good tools, I'm not saying that you have to buy expensive tools or anything like that, but having good tools is a huge deal. Like when I bought my Addy needle set 2 or 3 years ago, those are literally the only needles that I use. I think I've bought a couple of the lace tips, which I really love also, and I've got a couple needles that I use for socks, and that's pretty much it. And yeah, I just couldn't, the cords were stiff and bad, and I just couldn't even do it. So I'm gonna have to go to a different yarn store to find some more things, find some more needles to try these swatches with. That's about it for today. The only other thing is I got myself a little bit of a birthday present, and I know I said I wasn't going to do stash, but this isn't really stash. I don't think. It's a book. I don't think that books are stash. Books are books. But I did get the Japanese Knitting Stitch Bible because I've seen photos of it online and I've heard people talk about it, and I just got it. And yeah, it's everything that I wanted it to be. Like the photos in it are beautiful. Everything has a chart. I have one stitch dictionary for lace, and it's all written, which sucks because I can't, like, anytime I want to try something, I have to, like, I can't read written directions, so I had to like chart it, and then if it doesn't work, it kind of sucks. So I was really happy that this was all charted. I guess conversely, it's not very good for the people who don't read charts, but these are quite complex patterns, so I think having written instructions in there would be a little bit hard. Oh yeah, there's yokes in there too, some edging, like just very, very beautiful. So I'm really excited to dig into this book some more and do some more swatching. One last thing that I wanted to talk about was the Pip and Pin knit along, and that's being run on Instagram. Basically all you do is post a picture of your work in progress using a Pip and Pin pattern or finished object or plans or whatever, you use the hashtag Pip and Pin KAL18, and that's your entry. So I'll be doing a drawing every month for the rest of the year, and then a big grand prize at the end of the year. So for April, I've decided to give away, let's see if I can show these, these guys. And these are some teeny tiny little blingy stitch markers that I made. These are the stitch markers here. And those are going to be the prize for April. You get 8 in total, and they're just little beads. And they are snagless. They're not showing up the greatest, but maybe I'll throw a photo up or something. I'll make sure to Instagram about them as well. And now in May, in the beginning of May sometime, I'm releasing a new pattern. And that is going to be that little knot stitch sweater, the blue one that I'm making with Midnight Cravings yarn. If you watched the 2 episodes ago, I think I was wearing it. So Katie and I are going to be doing photos, hopefully sometime this weekend if we don't get rained out. And we're going to be releasing the pattern at the beginning of May, along with, actually we're kind of doing like a group release with Knox Mountain Knit Co. So watch for those too. I'll talk more about that as the time comes. But in addition to the stitch markers, I'm also going to include a copy of that pattern. So you'll get those stitch markers and the pattern for the nameless blue sweater. Again, use the hashtag Pip and Pin KAL18 and all year. But this will be the prize for April. And I think that's pretty much it. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you to everyone new who subscribed. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit that button. You can also turn on notifications to get notified whenever I upload a new video. And yeah, thanks again. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.